and today I want to address a question that I received on Instagram. And the question was, if I'm a Virgo, does that mean I'm at 60 frequency? And the short answer is no, because when we're looking at sun signs, it's only one aspect of our astrological genome, I guess, right? And so, just like the tetra is a web of different frequency, the planets are also frequencies. For example, Taurus is Venus, right? It's ruled by Venus. Gemini is ruled by Mercury. So the answer is no, because we all have different astrological makeups that create our birth chart, right? We have the sun sign, the moon sign, the rising, our north node, our south node, our Mercuries, all of those, right? And so to just look at the sun sign is impossible to tell what frequency you're at. And actually, to go one step further, it doesn't really matter what arrangement your signs are in. Those aren't determining factors in assessing your level of consciousness. Your dimension that you reside in most frequently is determined by your ability to integrate the energy of that dimension. So for Atlantis, the royalty, your ability to integrate aspects of sovereignty, aspects of inner authority, having mastery over your emotions and your mentalities. These are key frequencies that one has to look into and start integrating as they move from the 3D to the 4D. For example, my sun sign is in Taurus, so that is ruled by Venus. My 60, which is Virgo, which in the frame model is ruled by Mercury and Chiron. And then the matrix is Mercury. So my Gemini is in Mercury. Mercury is aligned with the matrix. It's also aligned with the 6D. My moon sign is in Sagittarius, and my rising sign is in Sagittarius. And my north node, my north node is in Scorpio, which is the dragon. So in this way, we can sort of see what energies that correlate, what energy correlates to the moon, the emotions, right? What energy is the rising? It's your personality. And your north node is your dharma. So just looking at my chart, I have a lot of Venus. I actually have a stellium in Taurus. And I'm not the expert on evolutionary astrology. My friend Martina Siri is also incorporating her knowledge of astrology into this model. But if we look at this in a new perspective using the dimensions, we're able to see what our gifts are. And I feel like my gifts definitely have something to do with Mercury, which is communication. And who are the angels, the messengers? So the fact that my Mercury is in Gemini, right? It means I have a good ability to communicate, to be a messenger to the collective. And what am I communicating? I'm communicating codes from the 9D, from the celestial sphere. I'm bringing things downward, right? Let's see, what do we have in the 12D? This is also the 12th house, so what do I have in the 12th house? And that's my north node. Oh, so that is my north node. So my north node is Scorpio, which is the 8D, but it's also in Pisces, right? So it's also 12D. So anyways, I got a little distracted, but this is how we incorporate the dimensions into evolutionary astrology. That was the first question that I wanted to answer. Another one was asking me, how do we plug all of these beliefs, all of these stories of all of these spiritual concepts into the frame? And the example I got was from my friend Sangye, and she asked me, like, how does the shamanic journey plug into the frame? How does Dao plug into the frame? How does Allah or Yahweh plug into the frame? And these were all really good questions. And when we think of, let's start with the shamanic journey. These are very introspective journeys, right? This is a lot of Pachamama, very feminine, intuitive, very introspective journeys, right? We're consuming a plant, which means the plant is entering us. We are becoming a portal. This is why shamanic journeys are feminine. So we look at the feminine line. So the womb, Atlantis, and Omega, right? These are the shamanic journey portals, right? And even um, the mountain, right, is a portal. The feminine card of the mountain is the the Lady of the Sphinx Gate, and the Lady of the Sphinx Gate is providing a riddle, right? Only the pure of heart can pass through. So many people who are not ready to receive codes from the 7D, 8D, 9D, basically these realms, they get stopped. They can't break through this barrier because their consciousness isn't at a level that will allow them to reach all of this. Sometimes, and this is another good point to mention, sometimes if you're not ready and you take an obscene amount of plant medicine and you somehow break through without being fully prepared, um, this will bring maybe psychosis afterwards. It may bring a bit of instability and confusion afterwards, right? Because your mind is not prepared. You haven't completed the realm of the observer, which again is mastery of emotions and mind. The waters of the mind and the waters of the heart. This is all of the realm of the observer, where water plays a big role. Okay, so the shamanic journey is in the feminine line. It's just how far, how much access are you getting with the shamanic journey to understand that. This is why many people who partake in the shamanic journey will reach Atlantis for sure. Will reach memories of Atlantis, memories of Samadhi, where they're like, we're all one, which is true, but they'll see the 5D lens of that, which is all love and light. Um, Again, this is Leo. This is the sun, right? double sun. So they're going to see the love and light, right? Like, yeah, plant medicine is amazing. It's like, if that same person came into the Divine Mother, the Omega, absolute introspection, absolute um, absorption of the Akashic memories, like, I don't think it would be the same journey as the 5D vision that you had, right? The feeling of the 5D is a lot different from the feeling of Omega. And actually, what I would consider this, this, maybe the dragon, maybe Omega, is when Jessica from Dune, Paul Atreides' mother, takes the sandworm poison, right? The water of life. She drinks the sandworm's poison as part of her ritual to become the mother superior or whatever, the head Bene Gesserit woman, right? She takes this type of plant medicine, except for she's not going to here or here or here. She's going into the entire Akashic memories of the people of Arrakis, right? She's seeing all of the pain. She's seeing everything, thousands of years of pain and suffering. It's not filtered through the 5D, through the light. Um, so yeah, where we go on our journey, on our shamanic journey, taking plant medicine, psychedelics, mushrooms, all of these things, ayahuasca, we are going through the different lenses, and maybe we reach the mountain, right? Maybe we reach the dragon if we're getting really good insights. Maybe we're receiving things from the celestial sphere, which we're naturally tapped into anyways, right? Because again, the journey, the shamanic journey, is about us traveling to here, whereas esoteric tradition is about bringing knowledge down to here, right? And this all has to do with the stories that are passed down from the celestial sphere to the mountain, to the Garden of Eden, to the royalty, who then filter it for the public, right? So we have this concept of, I guess we can talk about Allah and Yahweh. And so what we have in the Matrix, and before I even go into this, I'll tell you that these are very masculine spiritual concepts. Islam and Christianity are very masculine oriented belief systems, and it's very evident when you read the text. And you look at the cultures, it's a very patriarchal system of understanding the spiritual concepts that are coming from the 90, right? So when we see characters like Allah or Yahweh, we're immediately looking at the masculine line. And when we do that, we look at the 3D, the 6D, the 9D, and the 12D, right? And each layer, each dimension of understanding is a new way of perceiving the concept of Allah, the concept of Yahweh, right? I'm not sure, but I think in a previous video, we looked at Jesus, right? Jesus is also part of this masculine line. Jesus down here is part of this line. But Christ himself is the 11D. The only reason why he's over here in the masculine line is because his story, the Christ story, got incorporated into the Yahweh story, right? So we have to reprogram that. Like, who is Jesus on this level? Who is Jesus on this level? And then once you get to this level, you realize Jesus is literally this whole thing. And so now we can talk about Taoism, right? We look at Tao, or the Tao. It's very easy because we have this, right? We have the yin and yang. This is the balance. It's all about balance in Tao, right? So we immediately look at the balance line. And Tao is seeking this balance. It's also prevalent in Advaita. It's also prevalent in Hindu traditions, Hindu concepts of Advaita, non-duality, right? And so what we actually see are the teachings of Christ, the true teachings of Christ inside of Tao. We have the teachings of Buddha, Siddhartha, right? The middle way. It's literally the middle way, right? And so you can plug in, and let me just write Tao. You can plug any of these concepts, the shamanic journey, Yahweh, right? Yahweh created the Garden of Eden, right? Yahweh is often depicted as the 12D bearded man. Here, I'll show you. The bearded man with the golden triangle, the golden pyramid glowing behind his head, right? This is the 12D character, right? But at what level of understanding are we perceiving this character? Because in the 3D, we literally see him as the Sky Father, right? We see him as a physical being, right? We see him literally as a bearded man in the sky who's going to take care of us when we go to heaven. That's what the people in the 3D legitimately believe, because down here, it's all about the carnal, the carnalization of these higher frequency forms that don't have a form, right? So we're creating personifications of these forms as we move down in concept, in awareness. Like, Jesus is a man, and in Catholicism, we drink his blood, right? Drink his blood. We drink his blood and we eat his body, right? This is drinking his blood is vampirism. Eating his body is cannibalism. So we've completely missed the point. We've created these sacraments, right? These rituals of vampirism and cannibalism to symbolize something that maybe the 3D doesn't really understand. What is going on with Jesus and his blood. The blood shed on what mountain? The mountain of the skull, right? Of death, the death mountain, or Mount Doom, right? So yeah, again, this is a mistranslation. This is a carnalization of what is happening actually with the Christ story. The Christ consciousness 2,000 years ago, or in some timelines 1,000 years ago, but that's another video. The Christ consciousness came down, right? Came down actually from the 11D, came down to the 9D. The Magi, I've already discussed, saw that the Christ consciousness came down into the 9D through the celestial sphere, through the workings of the celestial sphere. Notice, oh, a new energy has appeared. The star, the North Star, is bright. And the North Star we see here, right here, above the mountain, alluding to his death on the mountain later. So the Magi, who are the 5D and 6D people, but mostly 5D, because they're traveling, right? They see this and they visit him, right? And then Jesus grows up. He literally carnalizes into form. Jesus is God made flesh, right? So he comes down here when he's a child. He's giving codes, right? He's a messenger, right? He's a prophet. He's a messiah, right? So he's giving codes to, this is getting messy, I'm so sorry. He's giving codes to the people in the Matrix. But through time, what I'm saying is that all of this is being carnalized into matter, denser and denser form, where we're losing the aspect of the Magi, who knew that this isn't energy, it's a frequency, it's a planetary frequency. And the story of Jesus dying on the cross is really, in his blood being shed on the earth, is really humanity's DNA being upgraded. Our blood, our DNA is being upgraded into the Christ consciousness, because now we have a portal, right? And this is a video we can actually go dive really deep into, not in just a whiteboard session, but in a legitimate video, because that concept of Jesus's blood being shed on the earth as a means for the human family's consciousness to evolve into a more balanced state is something so pivotal to how we operate in this paradigm, and how we're going to operate into the Aquarian epoch. Okay, so that was just a small video based on questions that I had on Instagram and WhatsApp. But yeah, I just finished my website, guys, and I'll put a link to my website down below. There you can basically see all of the information that I've posted on my Instagram. You can see more in-depth guides into the dimensions, and the tetra is there, which I want to make a digital guidebook eventually. But yeah, you guys can check that out, and I'll see you guys next time. Peace.